Hi everybody, welcome to the Finance This Property That podcast. My name is Dion Fernandes and I am a mortgage planner and finance professional. My goal is to empower financial legacies for generations, and I look to do this by using my over 13 years experience in finance and having special guest speakers like financial planners, accountants, buyer's agents, family lawyers who are experts in their field to provide knowledge and free education. And without further ado, let's get into our episode today. Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Finance This Property That. We have some very special guests today. The people behind the scenes of this amazing production. They make me look this good, you know.
Oh, it's not hard. I was going to say it's not easy, but it's hard. It's not hard, mate.
It's not easy making me look good. I know, it's a tough gig. That's why I wear these bright shirts.
I do love the shirt today. Great.
Yeah, I do like this. It's very Christmassy.
Very festive.
Yeah. Green today, green training shirt as well for the gym. I'm like, green.
It's Green Day.
It is a Green Day. Good band. Luke and Caitlin from Umbrella Creative. Now, maybe a random topic. You may be wondering, well, why are they on a finance podcast? Well, one of my last podcasts was around self-employed and banks, you know, busting the myth around being self-employed and you can't get a loan and there's only certain types of loans you can get because banks don't like self-employed. Well, funnily enough, as soon as I recorded that, Luke and I were having a conversation behind the scenes going, telling me your story, right? And I thought, well, that makes sense to get you guys on here. And also, look, it's probably about time I did get you on the podcast. It's just like Adam waited a while, you know.
It wasn't awkward. I think you had to invite Adam before you invited us.
Yeah, true. Yeah. But welcome. Thank you. And I really appreciate you guys sharing your story today because it is a really good one and it actually dispels a lot of myths. And it actually proves a lot of statistics right. And we're going to get into that in a sec. But really quickly, Luke, Caitlin, tell us about how Umbrella Creative came about because that's also a very cool story. And then we can segue that through that to property.
Yeah. Do you want to go with that one?
You can. It was all your.
Oh wow! All my doing.
All you're doing.
It wasn't really. Well, yes, it was kind of. Yes, I did. I kind of forced Caitlin into it. So Caitlin, we gave birth to. Well, I didn't give birth to Liam. Caitlin gave birth to Liam, but I was there as a supportive partner, and working a full. Don't. We're not going into that story.
No birth
story. It's a funny one. Let's see. We might backtrack to that one later if we've got time.
Liam is on the other side of this. He's on the other side of the wall.
Yeah, the work experience kid's on the back. He's 14 now, so that tells you how long we've been in business. But anyway, Caitlin gave birth to Liam. I was working in an agency. Caitlin was also working for an agency, and she went on maternity leave. And we get, what do we call it in Australia?
I think it was paternity leave.
Paternity leave? When the father gets, is it like a week or 2 weeks?
2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks at a time. Now it's laws have changed, but you know.
Yeah. Would have been 2 back then.
Yeah, well, I was working for an agency that I was extremely depressed in because we were doing like 70 plus hours, earning $36,000 a year. And that's pretty bad back then. It was just terrible. And I came home and I said to Kate, I can do this on my own. I'm quitting my job and I'm going to start a web agency because at that time I was a web designer and Kate was a graphic designer and she still is. But I quit web, long story short, from that. But what I did was I completely just dropped it. I said, I can't do this anymore. Made my mind up. We're going to start our own business. Caitlin's like, what the hell is this guy on about? We've just had a baby. How are we going to survive? But I took that as motivation and cold called for 2 weeks solid and drummed up 6 months worth of work.
On your paternity leave?
Yep.
I guess
2 weeks, 6 months worth of work.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's great. And that's, and your story is not too dissimilar to a lot of clients that I see that they had a PAYG job, left basically because, well, the value in that you were helping someone else and you weren't really getting back. But, they were taking on all the risk, but, that's why you were getting paid.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Yeah. There's still a place for that. It's just that I guess my ambition outgrew that, thinking, no, I can support my family, I can make more money, I can be there for them and still have, an income.
Yep. And do it your way.
Yeah, well, exactly.
I think that's the biggest, reflecting back on, me going out, like I've been in my business for 12 months. I
Yep.
did it for a couple of reasons, right? One, a very powerful why, my family, right? And also I wanted to do it my way. And if I don't succeed, I don't succeed, but I know that I've given it a red hot crack, right?
Yeah.
And look, 14 years on and here we are. You're on
Yeah.
some random person's podcast for finance, talking about, you know, how you got your mortgage and the steps that you took, because you know, like I just mentioned, going from self-employed to PAYG, quite tricky, right? A lot of banks will want financials, at least 2 years, want to see consistency, things like that, as mentioned in that previous podcast. But tell us a little bit about the situation, your living situation, and then to flip the switch and go buy your property, which you guys have been in for a while now.
Yeah. So at the time we were living in a rental on I think a 400-meter block, and I think we'd only had the business for around 2 years.
Yeah.
Anyway, we were just kind of, I don't know, having a look around on realestate.com, and then I just randomly came across this whole acre, which was, I think, the same cost or less than a 400-meter block in Springfield Lakes where we were living at the time.
Just the land, hey?
Yeah, just the land. And we didn't really know where this place was. It was in Jimboomba, and we just kind of thought, let's go and have a look at this. It said no deposit, home loan.
Take our money.
Yeah.
What little we had at
That
that
was
point.
quite funny. Yes, I do remember being told that
Yeah.
story too. A no deposit home loan.
It was.
That's a story
That's
for
another story.
podcast.
It wasn't
Yeah,
quite
but-
the case, but
But it wasn't. And it led into, there was all these things like rent to buy. There were all these weird messages around what you were going to get. Do you remember those? The rent to buy? And
those came up,
we were
but
like,
that wasn't what ours
is
said.
that all that's available to us? Because because we felt like that we were like the lepers out of town. That like, you run a business. Whenever you go to a bank, that's what they made you feel like to the big banks. And then it just led on to, let's go and have a look and let's see what it's all about.
Yep.
And we went and had a look at the land, and then a builder happened to turn up with the developer, was it? When we were looking at it.
Yeah, the developer, yep.
And it all seemed to be falling into place, and then they recommended one of the big banks.
No, the developer. The developer took us to meet the builder. But so we didn't even have any options about who we were building with apparently at that point. We're just like, everything just started happening.
And because we were kind of, I don't know, a bit of oblivious at the time because we'd never looked into anything to do this, with any of that. So when they recommended one of the big banks that we go to, and when we went and did that, he kind of looked through our stuff, and because we'd only been self-employed for a couple of years, he basically said, I can't help you.
Which is a real
However,
kick. It was a kick.
yeah.
And we were just like, okay.
Yep.
However, during the same visit, he recommended that we go and talk to his nephew, who was a broker. So we were kind of feeling a bit down in the dumps, like, we're not going to be able to do this, when we got all excited about it. And then we went and, saw his nephew, and
Yeah, but it was
went
more
wrong.
so to me, like I then started feeling like a lot of guilt and shame for thinking, shit, what have I done? Have I limited our chances in terms of getting a home because I just decided to run a business? Equally, I've created all this spare time for us and we've got this extra money, but that doesn't come into account just because we're a startup business of 2 years in. And I thought, and then that started eating at me. And then I was really worried, thinking, fuck, what have I done? Is this, have I just ruined our lives by doing this?
Yeah, and I guess, your feelings shared by a lot of self-employed people out there.
Yeah.
Right? They go to, because you got to remember, if you go to one bank, that's it. You only have their policies to deal with.
Yeah.
They can't really give you another policy. They can find ways to mitigate the policy, but if it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. And I guess back then there was less room to move with self-employed. And you know what? The shout out I will make though is good on that lender in a bank that gets employed by the bank to refer you onto someone that's actually going to be able to help you. There's so few and far between. I actually work with some really great lenders that are in banks that realize that, hey, there's a customer at the end of this, right? Here's some hopes and dreams. And I'm not going to name the names, but you know who you are. You guys are excellent at what you do in your own right. But to have the ability to go, hey, I'm not going to get any commission on that, or I'm not going to get a bonus on that, but it's the right thing to do, is hey, Dion, can you help this client? We can't help them, but you probably will have a policy. Now, that broker has, over 40 different lenders. There's 40 different policies, and you guys will fit somewhere. And that was my point in that previous podcast. Is around there is a solution for self-employed employees, like if you're self-employed, but it's about making sure we understand what your situation is, look at everything, go slow to go fast. So keeping on with the thing, so you've gone and seen this guy, right?
The broker.
Yeah, the broker, right?
Yeah.
And obviously we know he got the loan for you, but what was the difference between, how did you feel after the meeting with the broker versus the meeting with?
He was just, it was like he was a godsend. It was like, what do you mean? You have access to all these different lenders. We didn't know what a broker was back then. And I don't know if that was us being naive, but was it not talked about a lot?
No.
I don't know.
Well, think about it this way. The broking, so how long ago was that? About 10 years, right?
14 years this year.
14 years ago, right? Cool. So 14 years.
No, that's when we've been in business.
12.
Sorry, 12 years.
12 years, yeah. So 12 years ago, right? The third-party banking, which is mortgage brokers, was very few and far between. You had it's so small. Now, 75% of all residential mortgages are written by a broker.
That's crazy.
It's unbelievable because
Good.
Options, choice.
We probably would have assumed as well that we would have had to pay the broker, if we went to see them, that it would be like a private thing that we're having to pay them to find and get a solution for us as well, I think, at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and let's bust that myth.
Yeah.
Right? For residential broking, you don't
it definitely
pay
wasn't
me.
the case.
It's just not the case.
Yeah,
we get
that's
paid.
even commercial lending and stuff like that. It's like when you see a broker, they absorb that or however they do it. And I've established that more so being in business now. And it's
because now it opens up the whole world to you guys, right? You look at 14 years in business, 12 years in your home, how your business has evolved, developed. So has the policies for self-employed. They've evolved, developed. Banks are willing to take more risk, right? But from my point of view, that broker, high five, because you've changed someone's life.
Yeah, you did, totally.
And now you guys are massive advocates of brokers, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Because it makes sense.
Yeah.
Wanting to also, touch base, back then it wasn't as well known, but now there's a lot of people leaving banks that are lenders to become brokers because of that choice.
Is that right?
Yeah, there's a lot.
Because their hands aren't tied as much and they can help people more.
Well, think about why you left your work, right? You're leaving it to go, hey, look, I may not have the money that the banks do, but I've got the will, drive, determination. I've got a really strong why, and I can do it my way.
Yeah.
Right? I never would have had the opportunity to do a podcast working in a bank.
Yeah.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah. Whereas now I'm running my business. I get to meet awesome people like yourselves, help you guys grow your business. And I think it's a massive community that we've created too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And you can drive so much goodwill through that, right?
Yeah.
But with your property now, looking at it back then, what was the approximate price you paid for it back then?
$412.
Early. Yeah.
It was $412.
All up, total
Enclosed,
house
for
and
260 square meters with an acre.
412,000.
Yeah.
Fast forward 12 months.
The loan was $390.
The land, you can't even buy the
You
land.
can't even
for
buy
that
the
now.
land for
I think they're
$400,000. No
five,
way.
or even I've seen some for $600 for an acre just for the land. Around our area.
So that $412,000 asset, which you never thought you were going to get, is now let's call it even 1.1, 1.2 million, right?
Easy.
Right. Look how much wealth you've actually created from having being. Look, no one has a crystal ball, but just having that conversation with the broker, that broker's made your 400 asset into a $1.4 million asset. You've made 800. Well, you are. You've got a net asset value. Well, an asset value of $1 million.
Yeah.
10 years down the track, I wouldn't say that you've got $1 million in lending either, right? No. So, but that allows you to grow your business.
Yeah.
Right? If you needed to, you can leverage off the equity potentially to purchase your own space should you wish to.
Yeah, which is something we are looking at for sure.
Yeah.
Because
100%.
it seems like a sane thing to do.
It's logical next step, right? There's so many good things you can do now and that broker, and actually wind it back, that original banker who
Yeah.
led you to the broker, and you just work together as a team, and that's what it's about.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I do. I can't help everyone, but I've got other people that could probably do a better job of different things like asset finance. I think we talked about it. You know, can you fund a XYZ? I said, I don't know, but I do know a guy that can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Accountants, financial planners, all that sort of stuff. It's just that bigger network, which, I mean, you were encouraged to do that in Bankland, but it was very hard to do it when you were on the clock.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we
Right.
wouldn't have even known at that point either. You know, as I said, like we were so, I guess, grateful that everything just slotted into place. It's like we met, you know, these birds and they show the house and we're like, okay, quickly, you're offering us house, we'll just sign, whatever. Yeah, we don't want to change anything. We'll just, you're keen with that. And then we go to the next step and then he knocked us back. We're like, oh, it's not going to work. And then we go to this guy and then he says, yeah, here's a loan to one of the big fours. And we're like, really? The other guy wouldn't even offer us. And then we're into it, and then you get it reevaluated, and you're like, "What? You mean in like 5 years it's already gone up 200,000?" And then we do it again, and then it's gone up again to 900, and then now to whatever it's at.
Yeah.
And it's like one thing after another. I mean, business is stressful as it is, but knowing that we have that is just like, it's just, I don't know, it's like a blessing that everything just worked out.
Yeah, and you get like, I don't know, you've got a lot of equipment. Yeah, also you get that finance pretty quickly as well. Just about speaking to the right person that understands your business, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where did you meet that person?
That was weird, actually, because I think one of our production PCs broke down, and I've always been a fan of like just leasing to buy to keep cash flow in the business. And I got introduced to this guy. He's like, oh, no, don't use that because that's who we've previously always used. They're like, you should talk to this broker dude. He's great. And this was from the computer shop. He had no allegiance to them at all. So I rang this guy, Brendan Kelly, and if I'm allowed to say his name.
Of course you are. Yeah.
And do you not even know the name of his business? That's terrible of me. But I just know Brendan. Anyway, he's great. Hey, Brendan, like we want to, fund this amount of equipment. We're upgrading the podcast space. Yeah, no worries, Luke. Just send us the invoice for that. And then it's literally paid and delivered within a day. And previously it would be like, how do we even do this? But Brokers has opened up a whole new world to everything for us.
Yeah.
And giving us not just, no, this is how much it's going to cost, is like, these are the 4 options. This one is ideally, I think it's going to be better off. It's a lower interest rate, this, da, da, da. And he's even at the point saying, I'm not taking any cut on this one for you, Luke, because you've funded so much stuff through me and I really appreciate the business. So he's just a good guy.
Yeah. Asset finance broking is very, very different to mortgage.
Definitely.
But and it's a tougher gig because you're just dealing with a lot more volume.
Yeah, he is.
It's a volume.
Yeah.
It's a volume based thing. But mate,
I don't expect anyone to not give you your commission.
Oh no! There's no commission off this anyway. By the way, just in case anyone
Here's $20.
Yeah, just prove my loan now. But it just shows the importance of having experts in their field. And if I flip it around, it's like if you go onto my Instagram page, my first podcast is on there, and I did that on an iPhone, and I edited it on CapCut. Right?
Yeah.
I leave it on there to show the progress. Right? I've realized very quickly that it's the who, not the how.
Yeah.
So who's going to be better equipped to do this? Is this the best use of my time? Because as a business, it's, you want to make sure, like your asset finance, I'm just going to go there because I know it'll get done.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm going to be looked after.
Yeah.
It's the same with this podcast. Like, I'll just leave with you guys. Just sure, that makes sense. I mean, like, I'm not really artistic at all, but you just employ the right people to do the job that you need done.
Yeah,
with a lens where they're not actually in your business, but they understand what you're trying to, the message you're trying to get across, or the equipment you're trying to fund, or the house you're trying to get. So, you just said speed to approval was really good. Mate, the go slow to go fast methodology that
You've had some record approvals, haven't you?
Yeah, like I did 4 self-employed full extraction deals approved, submitted and approved within 24 to 48 hours, full vowels. And these were complex deals. They weren't just like, I am here, here's my pay slip.
This is what I want.
Full financials, multiple entities, you're flowing through it. Because 95% of my clients are self-employed.
Yeah.
I get self-employed. It's fun. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because then I get to meet other professionals like accountants and really figure out, and it ups my knowledge and skill. I don't give accounting advice, but I like to know
But
what,
you know the workings of it.
Yeah. I like to know why these things are, understand, hey, look, you're the guy doing the numbers. Why? Tell me why. But it's mainly for
Yeah.
for my knowledge, but I don't
Yeah.
tell it. Yeah. It's just about, you're constantly leveling up.
Does that better, I guess, appoint you to be able to make decisions moving forward though? Like you asking those questions to the accountants and understanding why business are run this way, why is a trust set up like that? It's in your best interest from a professional point of view too, yeah?
Yeah, correct. But it also allows me to get deals approved better because
you
my notes
understand
are more
it.
concise.
Yeah.
It's like, well, why is this? I'm already predicting what they're going to ask before they ask it. And I'm asking those questions before submission, leaving it in the commentary going, yeah, they're going to ask this. Why? Oh, they're going to need this document. Get this to me. Get me this letter, get all that stuff before even submitting the deal because I know it's going to need it for the next one.
Yeah.
We're doing some very complex stuff at the moment in Rooming House, which will be a podcast coming up soon. But for self-employed, you need to have your stuff together. I went back saying, hey, you do need to be organised, right? If you're not organised,
Yep.
there's another option, but it'll cost you money, and that's the cost of doing business.
Don't
Yeah.
hand me a shoebox and expect, great results.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Do you remember our first one that we rocked up to the accountant? We literally had a shoebox full of receipts.
Oh.
It was, we were like, we're going old school.
Yeah.
All the
Thankfully,
best.
there wasn't too many receipts that year.
Luke comes in with his pocket protector, his little Casio calculator.
Let me get started for you.
Yeah, 1 + 1. Yes,
I
here
think
we
she
go.
got us onto using MyAB or Xero online after that.
Yeah, because we pissed her off. Because she
It's definitely a better option.
We gave her a box of receipts.
And when I structure debt, right, I structure debt to make life for your accountant easy. Like if you're going to have everything in one pool and your investment pulling out of certain loans and things like that, you can't tell the difference of what the money was for. Mate,
Yeah.
your accountant's going to hate you and they're going to charge you through the teeth. So it's really
better,
important.
and we know that from even our experience too, from like having things set up incorrectly. It's like this accountant's costing us a shit ton of money. Like we've obviously we're to blame for this. We've got to figure this out.
Yeah.
And it structures you in a better way to be able to manage your finances, know where everything's going, and then also make the job easier for someone else who's managing that for you, that it's not going to cost you because they're not cheap per hour.
No. And like you expect, you want your life to be as easy as possible, as productive as possible to build a business, right? Remember, you're passing your business onto a business. You want the same for them. So I think there's that greater understanding of it as well. But man, like the organisation piece, if you're dealing with a good accountant, they're organised. That's the best relationship, the broker-accountant relationship.
Yeah.
So you go do your business, right? Broker and accountant will speak, but we'll still loop you in on the action.
Yeah.
Because if you need to sign off on something, you're there, right? You're across everything.
Yeah.
And, accountants can't just do things because I ask them to. They've got to get sign off for clients as well.
Yeah.
And if we're all on the same page, and we're all moving towards a common goal,
Yeah.
works. But I can tell you not everyone works like that. Right? It's,
A lot of people don't care.
no.
Yeah.
That's the reason.
Well,
I find.
Yeah, correct. I would say a lot of people trying to do the loan and stuff like that will just, I've seen it and I've been told it, they'll just submit the loan without any,
Due
they'll
diligence
submit it and just hit and hope.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, like I just got an email back from one of my lenders saying, thanks for the year. This year you submitted X amount of deals and you've funded X amount, and that's a conversion rate, I think about 98% conversion.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
wow.
I don't, what's the point in
Yeah.
hitting someone's credit file if it's not going to get approved?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not
Exactly.
doing your job.
No.
Yeah.
Yep. One touch, let's go, less issues, because we're trying to build long-term trusted relationships.
It's just a game of roulette then, isn't it?
100%. Like
Yeah.
you can't
And then
can't submit to the bank and get the bank to, it's like submitting your shoebox to an accountant and
Yeah.
hoping they can work it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why are you giving them
I'm
a
not
reason
offended by that comment.
No, but why are you giving them a reason to make
Yeah.
your life harder or decline the deal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give them a reason to approve it. They're your clients. Your job is to not submit an application until you've done the research.
Yeah. Exactly.
That goes down to valuations. Have I covered this off? Have I covered that off? And it's really understanding self-employed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually not that hard.
No.
No.
And it's just, I think it's so great that that whole landscape has opened up.
100%. You can just do so much. Like director salary now is one of those changes in policy.
Yeah.
Paying yourself a director salary, 6 months year to date and an accountant's letter, most lenders will take that up.
It's awesome.
Not most lenders, but case by case. But there's that piece. 1 year financials. They don't need to see 2 years as long as your business has been trading for 18 to 24 months.
Yeah, which is crazy.
It's nuts. I've even got clients who are transitioning from self-employed to sole trader work, but in the same industry with the same company. And we're getting those deals approved too.
So what's that one? They were self-employed?
No. They're PAYG.
Oh, they're PAYG.
Yep, going to sole trader.
Yep.
So there's no history of being self-employed, but they're in the same company, in the same industry.
Oh, wow.
You can show history.
Yep.
You just make a case. There's no way you're submitting that deal and hoping it gets approved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's that drives me nuts. But
But they do. I know that there's some that will just put it in and just say hope for the best and see what happens and can't guarantee it. But they didn't go, or they wouldn't go to bat for you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I actually had a client come to me recently. We just settled on their loan. He's buying in this self-managed super fund, a rooming house property, which I specialize in. He wasn't self-employed, but he went to 2 brokers. His finance clause was 28 days. They took 4 weeks. 2 separate brokers took 4 weeks. Couldn't get the deal done.
What?
Wow.
I don't even know why. It's so simple. And I had it for 2 weeks.
Should have been able to get it done though?
Yes, because I went back to the same provider and got it done in 2 weeks, approved with full valuations, approved and settled 2 weeks after that. We didn't miss settlement.
Yeah, wow.
That's life-changing for people.
Yeah.
Because
Definitely.
he's sitting there, I go, and I was in a conference at the time. I took his phone call, had it, just going, yep, I'll deal with this Monday. Can you get me this Monday? Rung Tim. Tim, just need you to do, or rung and emailed Tim, my client services manager. Mate, can you just get this done? Can you get these so we can get it sorted? Ring them up, make sure they can get this all through to me. Meeting was in the afternoon on Monday. He got me all the stuff over the weekend. My team had put it all together in the folder. I was able to do all my calculations. I actually did it Sunday night, but I did all my calculations to be prepared for that meeting on Monday. Gave him the strategy. We moved to application the next day, ordered the valuations the next day, moved it on.
So good.
It was approved before the it was approved subject to valuation within a week, but the
Wow.
valuation, because it's commercial, took a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But that's life-changing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So good.
Yeah.
And I found out why they couldn't get it approved, because they just didn't ask the right questions. They just needed to change one thing on the contract of sale, and they just
really?
needed to speak to both solicitors to do it.
And the other broker didn't even bring that up.
They
Or didn't even
brought
ask
it
the
up, but they
question.
just said the funder can't do it because of this. But all we did was remove the clause on the contract, and the funder did it.
Wow.
Well, not like there's other stuff.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that was the main issue that they
the
were having.
main issue
They
Yeah.
would have had
was-
that settled weeks and weeks ago. But that's right. Now he's a client for life.
Yeah.
Right? They're so
Yeah,
appreciative.
and he will spruik your praises
Correct.
till the
And,
end of days.
He's in a very good.
Cut to a scene of you standing on a rock with a sword with everyone gleaming up at you.
Yeah, well, I'm sure there's an AI image for that.
Yeah.
We'll find one.
Chat
You can get one.
GPT will do
I
one.
will find one.
Yeah. But, it just goes to show when you're looking at, like I specialize in the stuff that people can't get approved, like, complex,
Yep.
self-employed, that, you've got a problem. And I usually get people come to me when they've already seen another broker, they can't do it. And then all of a sudden I'm doing it. They're like, what? I'm like, I don't have any other rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just understand I just understand it better.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm very upfront with you. Like,
Yeah.
I can do it or I can't. You get me the information to determine whether I can or can't do it.
Yeah.
But I can't do it without all the information.
Yeah.
It's just like you putting a podcast and going, yeah, I can do the podcast.
What's
but
it about? We don't know. We'll sit in the chair and we'll
I'm
hope
just
for the
gonna
best.
talk.
Just going to wing it.
Yeah. Well, I wing most of my podcasts.
Do you have any guesses? No, I'm just going to talk to myself for
gonna
20 minutes and see if something magical happens.
Yeah, I'm just going to put B1, B2 over there. And, yeah, they won't talk, but, you can do voiceovers, can't you? But, yeah. But, like, it is. You just got to be back to that organisation piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be organised. Help people help you. I don't think there's not a solution for a self-employed client.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
are certain things that are outside of
Can we
self-employed.
say that as saying, don't be the shoebox in life?
Don't be the shoebox. If there's one thing you take away from that, don't be the shoebox.
Don't be the shoebox.
You look at it going, people can only help you as much as you help yourself.
Yeah.
That's one thing I try to
true.
instill, right? You can't just hit
What's the
hope all
old
time.
saying? Is it you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink?
You can if you make them thirsty enough, they're going to drink the water, right?
Yeah, just start
So-
splashing in their face.
yeah.
It's
But-
here for you. Take it.
Yeah, but
But I don't want it.
You gotta have your own drive and motivation to do it.
Yeah.
There'll be certain people that we can't help,
Mm.
right? If you don't have a deposit, it's really hard for me to help you. As long
Yeah.
if you have a bad credit rating,
Or any equity.
yeah,
Deposit being equity.
deposit equity. You don't have any of that.
Yeah.
You haven't organised financials. We can help you with that, right?
Yeah.
There's other ways to do it, but it'll cost you money. But ideally, if you're, the number one thing, make
Yeah.
sure you haven't got bad credit.
Yeah.
Number one, regardless of how much you earn deposit.
And there is
Yeah.
an episode for that.
Yes, we have done one.
Which
Kerry
episode
Sainsbury.
was that? Kerry Sainsbury.
Kerry Sainsbury from Credit Success. Yep. Go back on that. That's a really good episode. Be organised. I think that's the theme across all our episodes is be organised.
Yeah.
Don't wait till you've found the property to start getting organised.
Yeah.
Start planning. Plan your team. Get your team around you. So Natalie from JHK Legal, Luke from Emerge, even Adam said that. I've said it. Jono, the buyer's agent, said it.
Yeah.
We've all said it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
don't. The Wealth Lab,
Yeah.
the guys, financial planners. You don't wait till you're actually retired to plan your retirement. Like,
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
would you do that? It's just like planning a mortgage. So get organised and just be prepared for some hard truths as well.
Yeah.
Because you may think
But those
you're-
hard truths don't have to be the end of the world.
No.
It does. It just means
Don't.
this is what you've got to do.
Yeah.
And,
And-
that was what we were. I think that's why we took it so hard.
Yeah.
Did you? How did that make you feel?
Well, it would have felt worse if he hadn't suggested his nephew, and then that kind of fell into place quickly. But
yeah.
if he hadn't suggested that, then we would have probably given up and, not tried again for however many years. And then in that case, we wouldn't have as much equity in the house because the prices have just keep gone up since then.
Yeah. And I guess the point for that is you find someone with a solution focus.
Yeah.
Like he didn't have a solution, but he had a potential solution for you.
Yeah.
And by having a chat, it's just the same. Like come see someone with a solution focus.
Yeah.
Right? It's not going to have a solution for everyone, but most people, if you're willing to do the work, there'll be a solution.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And it was a really good experience. Like
And
there
you
was a
do
couple
get-
of things when we went through the whole loan and even then when he sorted it out, they came back and you need to sort this and this.
Yeah.
But it was very, I guess, directed and transparent with what
Yeah.
we needed to do, and it was achievable. It wasn't like, oh my god, I got to sell my left leg. Like,
I got
We
to
just-
pull another $100,000 out from somewhere, and I don't know where the income's
yeah,
coming from.
they're like,
Just action those
yeah, you just
things
have to
and then-
pay that out and sort that out and pay this out, or what is this that comes out, and it was all very we just have to have a reason for it and why that's there,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
everything just worked.
Yeah.
I just had another client with this same thing. I'm like, why does this say 82 and that says 72? And then we realized that he gave me the wrong financials. They gave me the draft ones rather than the actual real ones because his accountant was away.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then we got
Guesstimate.
the accountant's one. I'm like, oh, that's much better. But it's all about.
We'll take that one.
Yeah, just asking the question, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why is that and that?
Yeah.
Mate, that's
just
gonna
saying, no,
it's
that's
$10,000 difference. Where's the money gone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's preparing, right? So,
And $10,000 in the case of that does make a huge difference and can add 100,000 to your.
it was about a $20,000 borrowing capacity difference.
yeah.
Because of the tax rates where it moved
Yeah.
to.
Oh, yeah.
Because we removed it from. We actually ended up lowering his tax rate, but because it was 72, but it was actually 82, but the extra 10 was actually somewhere else.
Right.
We found it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
because the accountant actually gave me the right ones. But yeah, we made it work, but it's about collaboration as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's so good.
cool. So you'd use a broker again?
Oh, 100%.
Definitely.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I know a guy.
Yeah. I know a guy too.
This guy.
Yeah. Look, I mean,
I don't even know where the old one is. Wherever he is, thank you. You're a genius and we love you to bits still. But we've moved on. This is our new broker. We're breaking up with you.
yeah. Well, look, I mean, again, it got you into the position you're in, right?
totally
And
did.
that's the biggest thing. You would never be there without that
No.
first guy.
I
And-
think he actually went. Did he go to work for a bank? Because I remember we contacted him years ago, like years and years ago. I think it was when we were looking to, like to get a refinance, to get a better rate and stuff like that. Because I thought, it's been a long time and we were playing the bank against the other banks. But he was, I'm pretty sure he said, I can't anymore because I think he's gone to a bank.
Oh, okay.
I don't
Cool.
know. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
He probably got poached because it was that good.
Maybe. But look, I'd never go back unless I really
Neither would
had
I.
to.
I could never work for anyone again.
It's too hard. Like I've just realised you just make this work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just make it work.
It's so much greener on this side.
Oh,
What do they call
100%.
it when you're out of the matrix?
Yeah. Which pill did you take? No. Look, we'll wrap it up there because I think we've covered off a lot of different points and really got your story out there, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Need to actually say that the information on this podcast is very general in nature. It doesn't
Yeah.
take into people's actual financial circumstances. If you do need to speak to a specialist, hit me up. Happy to have a conversation about your unique situation. Our T's and C's are on the Emerge Finance website, including my credit representative number, etc.
Thank you.
How do we find you? How do my millions and millions of followers find you?
Umbrella Creative. We're the only one in Australia.
Yeah.
Apparently there's one in America too, but they won't go away.
.com.au.
Yeah, we're .com.au.
And you're also on Instagram?
Instagram,
And
umbrella.creative, and Facebook, and shamefully on TikTok. We're trying to, but
You got me on TikTok.
yeah, it's
doing the
it's
TikTok
an
dance.
ever-changing platform. But
Yeah.
we're everywhere.
Yep. And you can find me at on Instagram at Dion Finance Specialist. Find the podcast at Finance This Property That podcast. And find me on LinkedIn, Dion Fernandes. Really, really simple. Emergefinance.com.au is the business website. But
We'll put your details in the footer.
no, you can do that.
We'll
No
do that.
worries.
We'll put it. We'll
Yeah.
plaster it everywhere.
The magic
Might even
of
sneak mine in there.
editing. Yes, you can also put like different masks on and stuff, but put Santa hats.
That's right, the Santa.
Oh
hat.
yeah.
Yeah.
We need a poll to see if Dion should do his Christmas message this year and wearing a Santa hat.
Oh yeah.
Let's get a comment for we need how many comments do we need?
We'll get
No, we'll do a poll, yes or no.
Yeah, well, 25 because Christmas Day is the 25th.
yeah.
So if we get 25 comments of yes, I should be doing my Christmas message.
You're coming up to 25 episodes soon.
Oh, we are too. Quarter of a century.
Yeah.
We're going to celebrate that. That's going to be awesome.
Smash that out.
Yes, we will celebrate that. Look out, because that's actually coming up before Christmas.
It is literally.
I think that'll be the
Yeah,
week
it's
before
like
Christmas
the
is our
week before.
25th episode.
Yeah.
So we have to make it a doozy.
All right, I think that's a little hint there.
It's challenge accepted.
Watch this
Yeah.
space.
Watch this space. In fact, why don't you use this space?
Oh, we probably will. Funny that. Well, look, guys, thanks for joining us today. Don't forget to leave a comment below. 25 comments gets me in a Santa hat. I'll wear clothes as well with my Christmas message.
Not a mankini.
Yeah, not a mankini. And look out for the 25th episode special that we'll be launching.
Sounds good.
Thanks. See you on the next episode.
Thanks, Dion.
Thank you.